You have them right now, or you will very soon. That sudden jolt in your chest, that sound you cannot hold back. You hold your breath. You drink water upside down. Someone jumps out to scare you. And still, hic. Here is the truth that science quietly admits. Nobody fully knows why you hiccup. Nobody has a cure that is guaranteed to work. And one man once hiccuped without stopping for 68 years. So what is actually happening inside you? A hiccup begins with a sudden, involuntary spasm of your diaphragm, the great dome of muscle beneath your lungs that powers every breath. It jerks downward and yanks a gulp of air into your chest. Then, about 35 milliseconds later, the flap at the top of your windpipe slams shut. The rushing air hits that closed door, and the sound you make is not the breath at all. It is the slam. Doctors even have a name for it: singultus, an old word that means to sob. And here is the strange part. You cannot stop it by choosing to. A hiccup is a reflex, as automatic as a blink when something flies at your eye. Sensory nerves running from your chest and stomach, the phrenic nerve and the wandering vagus nerve carry a signal up into your brainstem. The brainstem fires straight back to your diaphragm, and the loop repeats again and again, completely outside your control. There is not even a single, tidy hiccup center to switch off. The circuit is scattered and ancient. Which raises the real mystery. Why do we have this reflex at all? It serves no clear purpose. It does not help you breathe. It does not protect you. It just seizes you and will not let go. Science has two leading ideas, and neither is proven. The first points to a ghost from deep in our past. The nerve that controls your diaphragm takes an absurd detour, starting near the base of your skull and traveling all the way down your chest to reach it. No sensible design would do that, but it makes perfect sense if you inherited it from fish, whose gill muscles sat near the head. The hiccup may be a faint echo of the way our water-breathing ancestors once pumped their gills, a motor pattern hundreds of millions of years old, still firing inside you. The second idea looks at babies. Unborn children hiccup constantly in the womb, long before they ever breathe air. So some scientists believe the reflex evolved to help nursing infants, pulling swallowed air up and out of the stomach so they can drink more milk. In adults, it may simply be a leftover that never switched off, because evolution rarely deletes a reflex. It just quietly stops using it. But if you cannot choose to stop a hiccup, why do all those tricks seem to work? Holding your breath, the scares, the upside-down water. The honest answer is uncomfortable. Some of these may briefly build up carbon dioxide or jolt the vagus nerve enough to interrupt the loop. But most of the time, the trick gets credit it did not earn. Your hiccups were already about to end on their own, and whatever you happened to be doing simply took the applause. As one doctor who studied the longest case ever put it, most cures work only because the person's hiccup clock has run out, and that clock does not always run out. When hiccups refuse to stop for days or weeks, they can be a warning. Stubborn hiccups have turned out to be the first sign of a heart attack, and in one case, the only clue that a tumor was pressing on the brainstem. Which brings us back to that man. Charles Osborne began hiccuping after a fall on his farm, when doctors believed he damaged a tiny spot in his brainstem, the very region that normally holds the reflex in check. He hiccuped tens of thousands of times a day, every day, for 68 years. No drug worked, no remedy worked. And then one ordinary day, For reasons no one has ever explained, they simply stopped. He died about a year later. So the next time a hiccup seizes you, remember what it really is: a glitch in machinery you did not build and cannot fully command, wired into you from a time before you ever breathed air. A small, involuntary ghost, still moving in the dark. If this made you rethink your own body, hit subscribe. Because your body is full of mysteries science is only beginning to solve. And next time, why your whole body suddenly jerks as you fall asleep, and what your brain thinks is happening in that instant.